In a dramatic turn of events, the Gaza ceasefire has officially taken effect, marking a pivotal moment in the ongoing conflict. But here's where it gets controversial. As the countdown for the release of Israeli hostages begins, Israel has unveiled a list of 250 Palestinian prisoners slated for freedom under the U.S.-brokered peace deal. Is this a step toward peace or a temporary Band-Aid on a deeper wound? The Israeli Ministry of Justice released this list on Friday, outlining the first phase of the agreement. However, the release of Palestinian prisoners is contingent on a 72-hour period during which all remaining Israeli hostages, both living and deceased, must be handed over. This critical window ends on Monday afternoon in Israel, leaving many to wonder if both sides will uphold their commitments. An Israeli official confirmed to CBS News that Hamas is expected to release all hostages by noon local time on Monday, equivalent to 5 a.m. Eastern Time. Will this deadline be met, or will tensions flare once again? Adding to the complexity, Italy announced that the Rafah Crossing, a vital link between Gaza and Egypt, will reopen on Tuesday in coordination with the White House and the European Union. Italian Defense Minister Guido Crosetto stated, "The crossing will operate alternately for exits to Egypt and entries to Gaza under the terms of the Trump agreement. The EU Border Assistance Mission will monitor the reopening, ensuring a neutral presence." But is this enough to guarantee safety and stability for those crossing? Meanwhile, Gazans have started returning to the northern parts of the territory as Israel partially withdraws its forces. CBS News reported scenes of displaced Palestinians traveling along Al-Rashid Road, the main coastal artery. Yet eyewitnesses described full-scale destruction in Gaza City and the Al-Shati refugee camp, a stark reminder of the war's toll. Can these communities truly rebuild, or will the scars of conflict remain too deep? The International Red Cross has emphasized that the return of hostages and prisoners must be conducted safely and with dignity. President Miarna Spoliaric pledged support for the process, including the return of human remains to grieving families. The ceasefire must hold. Lives depend on it, she urged. But will compassion prevail in a region so divided? In another development, an international team is set to be established to locate missing hostages, as confirmed by Gal Hirsch, Israel's hostage and missing persons coordinator. Hamas has agreed to release all hostages, living and dead, provided conditions for the exchange are met. Israeli officials estimate that only 20 of the 48 remaining hostages are still alive. What does this mean for the families still awaiting news of their loved ones? U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff confirmed that Israel's partial military withdrawal in Gaza is complete, with troops repositioned along the Yellow Line. The 72-hour period for Hamas to release hostages has officially begun. But will this withdrawal lead to lasting peace, or is it merely a strategic retreat? Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared that Hamas will disarm and Gaza will be demilitarized, vowing to achieve this goal by any means necessary. If this can be achieved the easy way, all the better. If not, it will be achieved the hard way, he stated. Netanyahu defended his handling of the war, which has claimed over 67,000 Palestinian lives, according to Gaza health authorities. Is this a promise of peace or a threat of further conflict? On the humanitarian front, 600 aid trucks are set to enter Gaza, carrying food, medical supplies, shelter equipment, fuel, and cooking gas. Residents will be allowed to leave through the Rafah Crossing, with security approval from Israel and EU supervision. However, the UN has noted that an expanded flow of aid has yet to materialize. Will this aid reach those who need it most, or will bureaucratic hurdles delay relief? Despite the ceasefire, large plumes of smoke and explosions were reported in Gaza on Friday morning. with Israeli bombs falling until the final hours before the agreement took effect. The Israeli military has warned residents to avoid designated areas where IDF forces remain stationed. Does this signal a genuine commitment to peace, or are tensions still simmering beneath the surface? As the world watches, the question remains, can this fragile ceasefire pave the way for lasting peace, or is it merely a pause in a conflict that has ravaged lives on both sides? What are your thoughts? Do you believe this agreement will hold, or are we witnessing a temporary reprieve? Share your opinions in the comments below.